Hey guys, and welcome to another update. So, the second last day of the month, and today went a bit weird. So I wasn't really feeling it today. I was having one of those days where I was just like, oh god, the last thing I want to do is really draw something. But I forced myself to, and I got through a few pages and picked the ones that turned out the best. They didn't turn out great. So the images you can see in front of you are the females. They're okay. There's not much to write home about it. Number 2, the one in the middle, has a little bit of a dynamic pose, a little bit more of an oomph to her, I guess. Number 3, the one on the far left, is just terrible. And the one on the right isn't bad, except for her arms are still very long. And again, I thought I was getting better at doing breasts, but they're not great on her. Number 2 did not turn out badly though, overall. But at that point, I think I just got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pick this one to get something done today, because it's important to push through days where you just don't feel like doing anything. You just need to produce something. The second lineup I did was these generic male poses. Yeah, again, it was difficult to push through today. It was difficult to get things, the motivation to do it. I think they came out well. I think they came out fine. They're nothing to write home about. They're not much of an improvement. They're not much of a, step back either. They're just, okay, here's 3 male sketches. Fine, whatever, great. That's kind of like, that's really how it was going for me today, which, not great. But anyway, we got the inking done on both. So on the women, again, another thing I'm kicking myself for is putting the goddamn shading layer on the ink layer. It's just such a simple thing I should be not doing right now. Yeah, but apparently I do not live and learn, because I keep making the same mistake, but I'm going to try better to try and prevent myself from doing it again. But anyway, the shading, I didn't do much shading on them. Again, I was just feeling really frustrated and tired, I guess, today, and trying to get the motivation to push through. It was difficult. But I think in a way it also kind of helped, because the shading doesn't look bad. Although the one on the right where I just shaded and where the eyes were going to be is interesting. But the one in the middle looks well, I think. And I think the limitation of the shadows is actually working as a benefit. I also upped the thickness of the ink lines, which I think has made a big improvement on how the image looks. The thin ink lines and having 0 thick to thin or thin to thick progression within the line was just hurting the image all the time. So I think, it went better in those aspects. As far as the men being inked, it turned out okay. Again, the thickness in the ink lines really, I think, has done a good change. I think that's a big change. I think it's a simple change, but it's a change that I think really helps. I'm also starting to get the definition of the muscles and the curvatures and the separate lines on the stomach and the chest and things are starting to come out a lot better. But yeah, my god, just turning up the size of the damn ink brush really worked and helped a lot within doing these images. They really did. I think the heads in these are okay. One of them's missing a head. That's something. And again, no hands except for one, which is the only hand pose I kind of know how to draw at this point. So I'm still struggling with hands, and they're something they're going to take a long time to get used to. But I think even though today was a frustrating day to try and get motivated, it hasn't been without improvements. I think these actually came out pretty well. And then of course going onto the male color, yeah, fine. Like, at this point I literally just put in a skin tone and yeah, just this the again bare bones shadow, which I think really has helped a lot, limiting down that shadow. It's not as big, it's not as blocky, it's not as splotchy. I didn't do much with the faces. I didn't even finish the guy on the left. I mean, yeah, it was just one of those days. This is fine. I think actually the inks on these are better than the color. But you know, I like to show you guys the good and the bad, and that's the point of this. It's, you know, this whole series is about being transparent. You know, and then moving on to the final image I'll show you today, which is the women, which again, it's fine. The one on the right was saved because I added color in, although I don't know why her line on her hip is going so high. I also really like the dog, so I nicked it from one of the previous images, I think on update. Oh god, I can't even remember what update. One of the first updates I did the drawing of this dog, and I just copied and pasted it out of it and stuck it in. And I don't know, the way her hand was, I had no reason for it to be doing what it was doing, and I just thought, you know what, she's gonna be holding the dog on the lead, and that's what's gonna happen. I actually think the character in the middle turned out pretty well. I really like her head and hair. I think she came out pretty well. I think the defining lines between her bust is weird. I don't know what happened. I don't know how or why. It's shaded, but it's also very strange. I think I put some freckles in, and I tried to really limit the amount of freckles I used on her, which in the face looks great. She's got kind of a I can't remember the name of the Disney movie, but it's to do with the mermaid. She's got that kind of head of hair and face on her. And the one on the right, yeah, dark freckles just make it look like either a skin condition or just dirt, which is unfortunate. And if it wasn't for that line going up too far, which I even inked, which is very strange, it really throws the image off. She actually could have turned out pretty well, and if they had hands, you know, these are all things that would have made the image better. But that was today, guys. I'm just happy I got stuff out and stuff done on a day that I was feeling very much not wanting to do any of it. So hopefully tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow should be better because it's the last day of the second month of this journey. So we need to move on to month 3 on a good one. Alright guys, that's me for another update. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Have a good evening and a better tomorrow. Cheers.